It's Thursday, February 13th, the eve of Valentine's Day. My Valentine is sitting right beside me, but we'll get to him later. We have a great show for you today for SJHL Insider. I'm your host, Clark Munroe. We're here in the SJHL IKS Media Studios for another great episode. We have a great guest coming on today. Actually, very excited about this one. Battlefords North Stars star forward and star of Team Ukraine as well from the recent World Junior D1B championships. Nikita Ivaschenko from the Battlefords North Stars is going to join us today. So super excited to chat with him. We only have one game to recap, so it'll be a quick recap segment, but we're going to dive deep into the standings and just take a look at where everybody stands right now going into a busy weekend with 3 games of days coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're going to dive into some statistics as well. We love talking stats. So like I said, I teased him earlier. Well, let's bring him in now. Jamie Neugebauer, my Valentine this week. Jamie, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, you tease me all the time, so fair enough.
Big teaser.
I was really excited to watch that Canada-Sweden game yesterday.
Yes.
And it disappointed in some ways in terms of the fact that I was maybe expecting a little bit more firepower to be shown from the Canadian roster, but...
Yeah.
They found a way. Really entertaining, though. What do you think?
Oh, man, I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
Like, audibly. I think my neighbors heard me in my building when they scored that first power play goal. It was so perfectly executed. The passes were so crisp across ice between people's legs. The goalie was so out of position because he wasn't expecting how good that was. It was just so fun. And the crowd getting so into it. I was actually at this thought, Nugsy, and I think you'd agree with me, but I'm so glad that they put it in Montreal and not Toronto. Like,
hey.
No offense. I'm a Toronto fan. You're a Toronto fan. I'm not saying anything bad, but Montreal's fan base is so wild. Yeah. And the fact that they got so behind the opening ceremonies in booing and cheering, it just set the tone.
Hey, tonight, USA starting.
Oh, man. I'm tuning in.
Or just even Saturday.
Yeah.
And I made the comment, and great point by you about the fact, Montreal fans being a specific type.
Yeah.
It felt like a soccer game.
Yeah.
In terms of, European passion and singing and the
ole,
intensity
ole, ole.
From the very from the warm-ups.
Yeah.
Like, it was cool.
It was great.
Loved it.
The Mario Lemieux introduction.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was so fun. It was a great game. I thought Canada dominated the first period, honestly. I was like, you know what, this is going to get out of hand. It didn't.
They dominated, but the Swedes actually just played pretty structurally solid.
Yeah, you're right.
And kept, Canada had the puck in the O-zone for sure, but the Swedes kept them on the outside. Gustafsson was very good.
Yeah, he was good.
But
you know what? Binnington was very good. I know he let in a couple.
He let in 2 bad
You made
ones.
the comment that he wants 2 of the 3 back, but he made a lot of good big saves at the end of the game, especially in overtime. There was a couple there. He made that one, I think it was in the 3rd period. It was like an Erik Karlsson shot. It deflected off a guy in front, and he kicked out his toe. Yeah. Like, that saved the game right there.
And also Zibanejad had one timer, I think, too, and he got across.
So I thought Binnington...
he made which saves,
despite letting in maybe a couple he probably didn't want to, I thought he played really well. So anyways, either way, though...
So do you go to Binnington again, or do you go to Aiden Hill?
No, I think they'll go Aiden Hill against Finland, and then see who...
No, they got USA next.
I thought USA was Monday.
They got USA on Saturday, Finland on Monday.
Well, how about that? I think you go. I think you go Aiden Hill on Saturday.
I hope so too.
And then see what happens from there.
And see who plays
honestly, the way that the team is kind of built, you might even go Montembeault on Monday, and then just kind of pick a goalie for the final, or whatever happens.
I don't think they'll go Montembeault just because Montembeault's been terrible lately.
Do they play in Montreal again at all, or is
no?
it?
I think it's.
Because if they play in Montreal again, giving Montembeault a game in Montreal would be classy. But
I think they just want to win, and Montembeault's not going to give you a good chance to win right now.
I just don't know if any of the 3 really make a huge margin of difference.
Yeah, Hill and Binnington have both won the cup, so that's what they're all saying.
Yeah. Anyways, it's super fun to think about. And the fact that we have best on best hockey, we have always had best on best hockey here in the SJ because we always have the SJMJ showcase every year. But
That's
at
terrific.
that level. At that level,
It was good hockey too.
And the fact that they've committed now for years down the road to doing this every couple of years in either the Olympics or this, I'm super
9 years
pumped
was
about.
too long, way too long.
So too long. Anyways, we have a great show today. We haven't thanked the sponsors yet, Nugsy, so let's do that now. We got to thank Borgo, Capital Auto Mall, Cantera Seeds, Sass Lotteries, Chevrolet, Nutrien, SCSA. I never say SCSA. Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, Tourism Saskatchewan, Sask Energy, UPL, SGEU, Great Western, SGI, and RBC. Thank you to everybody there. And you know what? Follow us on all of our social media channels while we're at it. Get your Flow Hockey subscription, which is going to be more important as we get down the stretch here. So many crucial games, and we have a bunch coming up this weekend, which we'll talk about later in the show. A lot of playoff implications this weekend, so we'll get into that. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. But let's get into it. It's time.
It's time
For the Prairie Crowd hat trick. Every time. Thank you, Bryce. That gets the juices flowing a little bit. Let's do the recap first, Nugsy. Tuesday night, there was one game. That's the only game we have to talk about. The Nipawin Hawks, though, they pulled off a big overtime win against the Larange Ice Wolves. And boy, you know, it might seem like a weird game to say it was a big win, but a really great effort by the Nipawin Hawks that night. On Tuesday night, I should say. Nick Trakakis gets the win, 32 saves on the night. Graham Brown, what do we expect from Graham Brown at this point? Usually really solid performances, 35 saves on 39 shots. Will Witter gets the overtime winner. Mason Karakachuk, Eric Hoynes, Mason Karakachuk again got the goals for the Nipawin Hawks. Cole Thomas, Hudson Cameron, Alex Mack, the veterans for Larange chipping in over there. Now, the big thing for me is this, weirdly enough, kept the Nipawin Hawks playoff hopes alive, Nugsy. They are not eliminated yet. Had they lost this game, they would have been. But they are now still in it. What? So Nipawin, exactly.
Yeah, what?
They're still in it, folks.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. And Larange, on the other hand, they need every single point right now, and they missed out on an opportunity to get two. They got the one. Yeah. They need to start winning these types of games. I was coming into this night, Nugsy, saying that Larange needs to beat the teams that are below them if they want to catch the teams that are above them, and they missed out on a chance to get two. They did get the one, so they're now, we'll look at the standings in just a moment, not right now, or now. No, we'll do it later. We'll do it later. But they're 7 points back now at Kindersley, and I feel like, you know, with their last 10 games, Larange is 3-4-1-2, and when you're chasing a playoff spot, I feel like, you know, it's just like they're dropping opportunities, I feel like. But either way, really great win for Nipawin. What do you think about the game overall?
Yeah, it was a much bigger game for Larange to me.
Yes.
Obviously, you know, be cool if Nipawin went on some sort of crazy run, or Notre Dame or Estevan even, to make that interesting. But we'll see.
Yeah.
It was a great game, though, and Kyle McIntyre, the commissioner, was there. He was telling me about it, too. It was the RBC game night as well in Larange.
For Nathan De Silva.
That's
Nathan
correct.
De Silva, yep. RBC ambassador.
Great community kid, and a really good player, having a really good year.
Yeah.
But Mason Karkachuk really stepped up. He's been really good in 2025, just in general. 8 points in 11 games for him. Game was very even, really could have gone either way. And if you watch overtime, Larange had all sorts of chances, and Trakakis had to make a bunch of saves. And then, you know, as it happens so often in overtime, and you know, Clark, in any level with a 3-on-3, you make one great save, the guy that makes the shot is out of position, the team is watching out of position, all of a sudden Will Witter has a breakaway and the game is over. But could have gone either way. There was a combined 74 shots. 8-8 were the high-scoring, good quality scoring chances. There were 3 goals in 3 minutes to start the third period. And that can happen in Larange. It can feel like nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden, bang, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
So we've seen that many times before. But as you said, Graham Brown and Trakakis were terrific. I think Graham Brown has struggled a little bit lately. I wonder if there was an injury situation because he hadn't played for a while. It was Logan Falk's show for a while there in Larange, and we had him on our show a bit ago, Graham Brown, and seemed like a terrific kid. And Kyle Schneider had mentioned that I guess L'Orange is such a sweet streak of incredible kids in net there, and I guess I'm sure everybody would say that, but yeah, it could have gone another way. But L'Orange really needed the full 2 in this one, especially with Melfort. A couple games against Melfort coming up.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's tough going. But L'Orange again with Kevin Kaminsky, they're never going to quit. So not a big surprise.
Before we look at the standings, let's actually just talk about L'Orange's schedule, because they have, if I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games remaining. Total of 22 possible points. But the next 5 of them are all on the road. They're on a road trip for the next 2.5-ish weeks.
Yeah.
The next one's at home against the Melfort Mustangs this weekend. But then 5 games on the road, and they're going to Yorkton, Notre Dame, Melville, Yorkton, and then finishing in Nipawin. So 3 of those teams are above them in the standings. Melville's one, hypothetically, that they could still catch.
Yeah.
So that's a big game. Notre Dame's behind them. They need to win that one. Nipawin's behind them. They need to win that one. Yorkton would send a message. Melfort this weekend, if they can start this weekend, they sure could use those 2 points against a really powerful team.
Yeah.
So the next 6 games, I think, is going to be the do or die for their season, if you ask me.
And they need a real heater. And I mean that in a complimentary way, in that L'Orange, to me, is the only team that's, not out of it.
Yeah.
That's out of it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I getcha.
L'Orange needs to get really hot. Somebody like, Kindersley, Battlefords needs to really go on a tailspin for L'Orange, but it could happen.
Well, and on top of that, I said their next 6 games. Let's extend that to 8 games, because that 7th and 8th game is against the Kindersley Clippers back to back.
That's big.
At home at the Mel Hagelin Uniplex, because their final 4 games, Nugsy, it's a back to back in Melfort, and then it's a home and home with Flin Flon.
Yeah, good luck.
So if you're not in a position where you can strike by then, you need these next 8 games.
Who's been the bigger giant killer in this league? Than the L'Orange Ice Wolves?
Well, Nipawin.
Well, other than Nipawin lately, but all year, L'Orange
yeah.
We've been like, whoa, what a result.
Yeah.
All sorts of times, and then they'll go out and lose to anybody.
Yeah.
That's sort of been the year it's been. And you look at the roster for L'Orange, they couldn't go toe to toe with anybody, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked consistently. But certainly they're the one team to me that they're not out of it.
Well, speaking of that, let's look at the standings now. We'll talk about the league standings first. And as you can see, the Melfort Mustangs and Flin Flon Bombers have both clinched. It says clinched division, which is not technically true. It's clinched playoffs, but
they both can't clinch the division because they're both
in
the
same division. Yeah, so that's fine. But they've clinched a playoff spot. Weyburn, if I do my math correctly, I think, what did I say? L'Orange could get 22 points. So I think they're 4 points away from clinching a playoff spot, if I'm somewhere in that magic number range. So their magic number is 4. Jeremy Corrigan was always very good at calculating the magic number stuff and everything, but calculating magic numbers for playoff stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not, but I'm pretty sure the magic number for Weyburn is 4 if I know how to do it. Yorkton, theirs is about 7 or 8 for them, so they're sitting in 4th place, as you can see. A bit of a cushion there. They can still very much strike and move up. It shouldn't be out of the question that they could move up. They do need to win a few games here to make sure that group from 5 to 8 can't catch up to them, because they're right there. And a good week or two, a good 4-game week by any of these teams. I don't know if any of them have 4-game weeks coming up, but if they do, that could be something to watch out for. And L'Orange right on the outside there, right behind Kindersley. Like I said, they have a game in hand on Kindersley, but they are 7 points back. It sure would have been nice if they were 6 points back, like we kind of talked about in the recap there. But the reality is they're 7 out, and Estevan's down there at 34 points. They have 13 games left, so what's that? 26 points total, so they could get up to 60. But that's a full. You have to win every single game for that to happen. Yeah. Shout out to Boston Tate, who we'll talk about later on the show, making his debut for the Estevan Bruins, a hometown kid. Having a really great season for the Regina Pack Canadians, and draft pick of the Wenatchee Wild.
Only an 09 birth year. Does that not make you feel old?
Yeah, well, I saw the kid when I was living in Estevan. He was 5,
Just
6, and 7.
Womb.
Almost, yeah. He was 5 and 6 years old when I was there. So it's like...
Yeah, he was on Team Saskatchewan, of course, at the WHL Cup, too, this year. Yeah. And spoke to his head coach there, Brett Pilkington, a lot about him. And Brett was extremely impressed in all ways.
Yeah.
With him as a 15-year-old, and I'm always interested to see how these high-powered 15-year-olds do when they come in and play 19, 20-year-olds. Because if they can handle that, then they're going to be special.
My buddy from Estevan, shout out to Aaron Murphy. He texted me today because he saw the graphic. Estevan put out this big thing, hometown kids making his debut. And Aaron texted me, he's like, do you think they think they're going to get him next year as a 16-year-old? And I said, probably not, Aaron.
No chance.
I don't think that they're planning on it. He's probably going to be in the WHL. But it's still fun that he's making his debut.
He's already playing with WHL.
Exactly. Yeah, he's already made his debut there. Let's have a look at the division standings quick before we move on. As you can see, in the Viterra division, Weyburn and Yorkton are neck and neck up there, 58 and 55 points, both 6-4 in their past 10 games. The Melville Millionaires are pretty much the hottest team in the SJHL right now with 49 points. They're sitting in that 5th spot technically, but they're a 3-way tie right now with those two teams over in the Nutrien division. Estevan's down there, 2-6-2 in their last 10. Not what you want to see when you're trying to catch up for a playoff spot.
But they've played a fun and a joyful brand of hockey since Drew took over. Yeah, and I love to see that. Just the shackles. I'm not tasting anything negative about Jason Tatarnik, but they're just playing free and fun. And Brady Wilson is a terrific leader and could have really been their captain to start with.
Sure.
And so I've really enjoyed watching the Bruins lately.
Yeah, for sure. And I've heard a lot of positive comments from the community of Estevan that said that they've enjoyed watching the games and that the team is still playing hard and everything. So that's good.
And you can read my piece on Drew Kosher on the SJHL.ca website that I wrote yesterday.
Do that.
Good for Saskatchewan.
Good plug. Let's bring up that graphic one more time, please. The Sherwood division, you can see. Speaking of Melville Millionaires being hot, the Melfort Mustangs and Flin Flon Bombers are equally.
Live hot.
They live hot. Yeah, they run hot. 72 points and 66 points up for those two teams. Larange there with 40 points, 3-4-1-2 in their past 10. Again, a tough past 10 for a team that's really trying to catch up for a playoff spot. And the Nipawin Hawks, 3-6-0-1, playing solid though. Winning a couple of but those 3 wins, all pretty big. I mean, so
Flin
good for
Flon
them.
and Melfort.
You love to see it. Flin Flon and Melfort are within that, and all at home. I guess the last one that they just won against Larange was not at home, but those other 2 were. So that's good to see. Humboldt, very hot as well. 49 points up at the top of the Nutrien division with Battlefords tied with them, but they're 3-7-0-3 in their past 10. We'll talk to Nikita Ivaschenko about that. And his thoughts about that in their past 10. The Kindersley Clippers 4-5-1 in their last 10 with 47 points, holding on to the 8th and final playoff spot. And Notre Dame 1-8-1, losing their last 8 games. Nugsy with 26 points. So tough go for Notre Dame in the past 10. Absolutely. Let's move on. So that was topic 1 and 2 already done. So let's move on to topic 3. There's 4 things within it. So let's jump in. Let's start, if you guys can, with the scoring leaders. The forwards, they're all forwards, but it's not specifically forwards. It's just the scoring leaders, and they all happen to be forwards. As you can see, Jacob Streetsy has been red hot, lighting the lamp lately, leading the league in goals, I believe, as well. 58 points on the season. Jerron Denwyer with 55 points in second there. Jerome Maharaj and his teammate Ethan Dike has actually slipped a little bit. Not really, though. But they have 53 and 51 points. You can see Ethan Dike in 6th there. Riley Kotai with 52 points, tied with Ryder Ringer of Flin Flon for 4th and 5th. Keith Gruner has been so good lately. Actually, he leads the league in goals with 28 there. Keith Gruner with 48 points.
Leads the league in goals, and he leads the league in plus-minus.
Plus-minus. That's pretty important. David Coyle having a great year.
For forwards is plus-minus.
Okay, there you go. David Coyle with 48 points, having a solid season. Logan Belton's been good all year long, 47 points. And our boy coming up shortly, Nikita Ivaschenko, having a great year as well. He missed some time, obviously, for playing in those World Juniors we talked about, missed a few games, but he's been so good all year long. Nugsy, maybe from that group or anybody, if you want to go outside of that group, but let's just have some fun with each of these statistic pages that we look at here. Who would you take in a shootout? Picture the scenario. We're talking Gordon Bombay, Mighty Ducks. You got to hit a shootout or a penalty shot to win the game. Who are you taking in a shootout out of either that list or anybody in the league?
I'm going to go the cop-out answer. I mean, he's the purest goal scorer in the league, and it's not even close to me. And that's Jacob Streetsy. Yeah. He leads the league in goals, or second league in goals behind Gruner. But to me, he's the purest goal scorer, so I'm going to go with Jacob.
You put him out there. I'd go Jerome Maharaj. I think he's just got hands of magic, and he's a wizard out there. So give him out there, let him get creative, and see what he does. Yeah. Let's bring up the goaltenders. We sorted this one by goals against average, but as you can see on the save percentage, we also put their rankings and save percentage on there as well, just for fun. So you can see in the little brackets there who's 1 through 8, at least the top 8 in save percentage. Matthew Keeper at the top there has been just lights out in 20 games since joining the Flin Flon Bombers midway through the year. A 1.68 goals against average. Playing some very good competition. Now, it says Yorkton, but he's obviously on Flin Flon.
And the only game he's lost in regulation was the game that I did the starting lineups in Winnipeg at the showcase.
There you go. So technically, it doesn't show up on there.
So Mike Reagan's not going to be asking me to do the starting lineups for Flin Flon anytime soon.
You're done.
Yeah.
943 save percentage, just like otherworldly numbers for Matthew Keeper. Madden Malacca has now qualified because he's been playing so many games lately for the Melfort Mustangs. The team, don't look at the teams.
Yeah.
We'll tell you who the teams are. Madden Malacca for Melfort, again, under 2 goals against, 922. And, you know, for a lot of young backup goaltenders, Nugsy, we can talk about this after I run through the list, but for a lot of young backups, you say, well, who is he playing against? What competition is he seeing? But for Madden Malacca, he's taken the reins at times against some very good teams, so I'm not worried about that at all. Then you got Christian Coombs, also for Melfort, of course, a 202 and a 925. Like, just unbelievable stuff from that Melfort duo. Nick Jeanette for Melville, he's been so good. 5th in save percentage as well, 4th in goals against. So good for the Melville Millionaires.
Long history of goalies showing out, playing behind Doug's teams, for sure. But Nick deserves a lot of credit, for sure.
Yeah, either way, he's been fantastic. Angelo Zoll for Weyburn, of course, he's been one of the best goalies all season long from start to finish. 263 goals against with a 923. He's 3rd in the league with save percentage. Kenneth Marquardt, not Humboldt, Flin Flon, he's snuck in there as well. I mean, he had a tough start to the year. His save percentage probably isn't what he wants it to be, but he has been good. Weirdly enough, since Matthew Keeper got there, Kenneth Marquardt has even been better.
Yeah.
The competition maybe is pushed.
So is the team.
So is the team.
Played better.
So is the team. Absolutely. Brett O'Halloran, not Melville. He's over there in Kindersley. He's been wonderful. We talk about him a lot. 910 save percentage, 291 goals against. Dazza Mitchell for Humboldt has been fantastic. Justin Merrick, one of the guys that I keep going back to as a guy who I think is underrated. Battleford's goaltender. Really good numbers there. And 9th, and then Callum Craig for Yorkton, rounding it out. So my question for this one, Nugsy, Game 7.
Yeah.
Need a win.
Yeah.
Championship is on the line. The Cantera Seats Cup.
Yeah.
And you have your choice of any goalie you want. It's a fantasy draft for some reason in the final.
Yeah.
And you can pick any goalie. Who are you putting out there? That would be a twist, eh? Game 7. You know what? Any
Kind
goalie
of
you
Spengler
want.
Cuppy out there, right?
Or something like that.
Take whatever guy you want from Switzerland or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of good answers, but the one guy that when the chips are down, and I've seen it in person many times, when the chips are down, Dazza Mitchell is the man for me. I know he's kind of down that list because of the tough start in Weyburn that he had. But last year in Game 7 in Humboldt, he was spectacular for Weyburn, of course. Only goals he let in were 2 5-on-3 goals to Boris Kaufman and Spencer Bell. Just great, especially at home in the playoffs. And so we'll see where Humboldt is. But and then his first 3 games against Battlefords when he was a young kid, Daza, in the playoffs there when they fought the North Stars in the first round, he was spectacular. Kind of ran out of gas, I think, because Battlefords was such a wagon. But I'm going to Daza. How about you?
Well, I'm just looking now because now that you've said it, now I'm curious. Do you remember what day he got traded to Humboldt? Because it wasn't January 10th, right? It was a few days before.
Yeah,
it wasn't
before. Yeah,
I just picked January 8th as a general date.
Yeah.
But since then, Dazza Mitchell has a 248 goals against average with a 931 save percentage.
He's been unbelievable.
He's been fantastic.
On the game of the month in Kindersley, he was unbelievable.
Yeah,
so.
He's been fantastic. It's really hard not to go with Matthew Keeper. I know he's playing in front or behind a really good team. I'm going to go Christian Coombs. I keep going back to Christian Coombs as long as he's healthy, of course.
He has experience too.
Just his experience last year, and again, just being so good. Coming into this year, we weren't quite sure just because James Venn had such a huge workload last year, and Christian Coombs as an 18-year-old last year only played 15 to 16 games out of the whole year, or even less. And so coming in, we weren't quite sure, but I think he's answered the bell time and time again. And I would go with him simply because of, like you said, just the run they had last year. He was part of it. He didn't play much, but he did get a couple of games here and there.
He won a game at the Centennial against the hosts.
Won a game.
Phil Blades,
so to me, I'd go with him still. Daz is a great answer, though. He'd probably be my number 2.
Daz is my answer.
Yeah.
And my understanding with Coombs is, too, speaking to Trevor Blevins, is that he should be back within the week.
Okay.
So it's not a long-term injury situation.
That's fantastic. That's good. I think Angelo Zoll might be my number 2/3, my 1B answer. He's just been so good all year long. So I'd have a hard time saying no to him.
And at the Warman Showcase, Zoll was wonderful.
He was.
Shut out the Manitoba Leaguers, etc. So.
He was really good.
Yep.
So there you go. There's our fun little goalie chat for the day. Let's move on to defensemen now. Defensemen scoring. And this is always a fun one because you see some really great players here. It's such a great list. Max Chakrabarty coming in and lighting the league on fire this year. With 41 points. Rylan Silzer has moved up. He's now in second place, tied for the goal lead with Max Chakrabarty and Liam Hunks as well, who's right below him there. Oakley McElwain in third. Liam Hunks, then Ty Thornton has been so good this year. Luke Lepper, 31 points each for those two guys. Thomas Reese, the rookie, has been fantastic. He has 9 goals as well.
Yeah.
Kalen Whittingham is, I'm going to say quietly, crept into that top 8 with 29 points this year. Nick Andrusiak, of course, from Melfort, considered by some the best defenseman in the SJHL overall. 28 points, fantastic season. And then Trey Fouquet for Humboldt there with 28 points. So the question for this one now is one-game scenario again. Who would your power play quarterback be if you could pick one? Out of those guys, anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, sounds like an easy answer, but Max Chakrabarty has just been so dynamic all year long. On top of that, I mean, you know what the thing is? Weyburn's power play hasn't actually been that good, which is funny because they score for fun otherwise. Yeah. They just put the puck in easily, but not on the power play. So it's kind of been funny. So actually, I'm going to change my answer and go right back to Andrusiak. And you look at the games played.
Yourself out of it.
Yeah, look at the games played. He's actually played a few less games too, Andrusiak, than other guys. So the guy who's been quietly up there for me is Rylan Silzer. He is having a marvelous season, and when Laurent doesn't play well, he still plays well. So I have a lot of respect for Rylan Silzer, but I'm going to go with Andrusiak.
I'm going to throw a different name out there. I'm going to go Luke Lepper for Flin Flon. We're talking power play quarterbacks. I think that guy is so smooth.
Moves the puck well,
moves the puck really well, sees the ice really well, feeds his teammates really well. So I'll throw him in the conversation for that one.
The thing about Tommy Reese, too, I love talking about Tommy Reese. He's not really quarterbacking the Yorkton power play. He's actually kind of been in front of the net or on the wing of the power play, and Bryce Dahl's been more the quarterback. So, stepping in, and obviously they needed a guy on the wing with Keenan Ingram leaving there, but Tommy has been great. Like, I saw Yorkton go 3 for 5 against Notre Dame on the power play last Sunday, and Tommy was tipping pucks in front, and just he does everything for Yorkton. And I'm just so impressed with him all year long.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Liam Hunks would be another great answer, but the way I look at Liam Hunks is I think he's like more of a trigger man. Like, he's a great shooter. Yeah. He's a good facilitator as well, but I see him as if you could have a Max Chakrabarty or a Luke Lepper or somebody feeding him for a one-timer. Let's go.
The thing about Hunk is, I think he's still trying to figure out where he kind of fits in Flin Flon, because he kind of had to do everything for Notre Dame offensively, defensively, and whatever. So he's like, how much is too much? How much is too little? How much is just right for Flin Flon? And my understanding is he's having that conversation with Mike Reagan on a decent amount. Is having that conversation a decent amount where he's like, what is my role? How do I fit? And Mike is just like, just play. Just play. Just go out and play. But Liam's a big thinker. Like, he wants to know and understand these things.
Well, and you remember more than anyone, but Notre Dame had one of the best power plays at the beginning of the year for a while while he was there.
You have Hunk passing it to Vinny for the 1T. It's working out
exactly.
good. I missed it so much.
And Marko Djordjevic was having such a good start, too. So there you go. That's the defenseman chat. Let's do one more. We got the rookies. Let's have a look at the rookie stat leaders here. Our guest coming up right away here, Nikita Ivaschenko, leads the way. We'll ask him, does he think he's a rookie? We'll ask him maybe. Max Chakrabarty there as well. We talked about him already. Tate Donkin having a really good year for Larange. Tommy Reese, we talked about him, 30 points. Him and Tate Donkin both 30 points. Jackson Herchak has been so solid all year long, 28 points. Raiden Zacharias has been a big, important piece for Melville, especially lately. As he's picked it up with 27 points. Hudson Kerr for Notre Dame. Actually, you see 3 Notre Dame guys at the bottom there. Hudson Kerr, Ian Biors, and Neka Jean have been really great leaders for the Hounds despite being rookies. And Will Witter, who had the game winner earlier this week for the Nipawin Hawks. So, Nugsy, rookie. The question will be for this one.
Yeah.
Who would you take to build a franchise around? Out of that list, or if there's anybody else you can pick up.
You mean to win like in the next year and the years
let's
beyond?
look. Yeah, you're taking them for next year and then beyond. I guess.
Can you guys
right?
put it back up again, please? Put up that rookies thing up again. There you go. Yeah. Look, just spoke about it. Let's talk about him again. Tommy Reese. Mm-hmm. Big minutes, D-man. He's so mature already. He flies. He's so fast. People are like, he looks ugly while he's skating, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. He gets from point A to point B very fast.
Yeah.
So either Tommy or obviously Jackson Herchak, but I think from start to finish, Tommy's been more consistent. So I'm going Tommy Reese.
Yeah, I was going to go with Herchak. As long as you can get a couple years out of him and he doesn't leave for college, because I know he's committed, but
college or USHL
or anywhere else.
Yeah.
If you can guarantee you're going to have him for a while, I would put him in.
And why wouldn't you build around an 06 kind of on that list? Obviously, there's a bunch of 05s and
sure.
And Will Witter's one of the few 07s on that list, but again, he's been a wonderful centerman as well for Nipawin. So can't go wrong with Will Witter up front. But to me, you build back end first. So there you go.
I think so. And not to mention, this is just rookie scorers. There's also some goalies as well that we could go with as well.
O'Halloran.
Nick Jeanette. The list goes on. Matt Malaka, if he's going to be around. So very good options there as well to build a franchise around.
But my answer is Tommy Reese.
Tommy Reese, there you go. You know what, Nugsy? We have the man himself, Nikita Ivaschenko, ready to go. So why don't we bring him in now? Let's go to the chat with Nikita Ivaschenko from the Battlefords North Stars. Nikita, Clark here with Jamie. Welcome to the show. Excited to have you. How you doing today?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Awesome. Well,
first of all, I would just like to say thank you guys for this chance, to have this conversation with you. I'm really appreciated.
Absolutely. Well, we were super excited when we even thought of asking you to come on. So thanks for joining us. It's been a great year for you overall. You've done a lot of stuff. Let's start with your experience with Team Ukraine, if you don't mind. Can you walk us through what that experience was like, what it was like to play for your country, and everything going on in the world right now, what it was like to go and play in a tournament like that?
So obviously that's a great experience, It's fun. You can meet your buddies, your old friends, You can play a different hockey. It's a big arena again. I used to play on this ring, and I can do my fancy things, So, but this year, I think it was pretty bad for me, I'm not gonna lie, because I was sick. I missed 3 games. I had 2 surgeries. But in overall, I'm glad I had this experience. I played 2 games. I played in the finals. I think that's the most important. So I was a part of this journey. So in overall, I'm glad that I've been there.
So
and I had this experience.
One of the debates that we've been having, we talk about it a lot, Nikita, is whether or not youth are a rookie. Now, I know you probably don't know how the rules all work. We don't even know how the rules work sometimes. Do you consider yourself a rookie in the league this year, or would you say no, I'm not really a rookie?
We're always laughing with the boys about it because in the beginning of the season when I went there, boys were like, "Hi, coach, you're the rookie." And I was like, "Boys, I know I'm the rookie on the SJHL stats, and I can be the rookie on the stats, but I can't be a rookie for fines." They're like, "Okay, yeah."
Fair enough. Hey, So I guess we're still trying to figure out whether to include you in like Rookie of the Year conversation and Rookie of the Week and stuff, because obviously, you have that experience. Maybe you could just kind of tell us, your experience. I know you played a lot of hockey in Sweden. How good is your Swedish? And also, was it professional? Were you just tell me kind of what it was like playing, coming up through the youth ranks there in Sweden.
Yeah, and first of all, I mean, my Swedish, it's okay, It could be better, but I mean, guys can understand me, I can understand them, and I can have a basic conversation, So it's not bad. About Sweden, what do you want to know? Like, you mean the hockey style?
Yeah,
or
were you considered a professional? Like, were you kind of on your own? What was the setup like, or was it more similar to the SJ?
I think it's not professional because it's also junior. It's under 20 league. It's not even under 21, so it's under 20. I played there 3 years, I guess. Yeah, I played under 18, and I played under 20 as well. So it's not professional. It's junior. About difference between Sweden and Canada, there is a big difference, and I think that's the main question for everyone so far in Canada. It's interesting, and I'm telling the boys my opinion. On my opinion, the biggest difference between Sweden and Canada, especially my leagues where I played, I mean, like, if we're talking about Canada, it might be SJHL because I only played there, and if I'm saying Sweden, I mean my U20 league. So the biggest difference is in Sweden, I think you're playing the game, but in SJHL, you're trying to survive till the end of the game. I think that's the difference.
They're trying to kill you on these small ice surfaces. Fair enough. You mentioned languages, so I want to jump in here with my fun little game, and Clark can bear with me. And so, Nikita, there's lots of Ukrainians, as you know, and I'm sure you know now in Saskatchewan. And so my good friend, his wife, put together a few phrases in Ukrainian for me to try to say to you, and maybe you can translate them for me as best as I can to try to pronounce them. Is that okay?
Yeah, we can try. Yeah, sure.
We'll try.
Go ahead.
We'll try. All right. Zі спортом не дружиш, не раз потім потужиш.
Oh, that's a tough one, actually. I don't understand very well. I think she meant like, no, actually, sorry.
Oh, okay. We'll try that. I just can't pronounce it probably either. Man, they just sent me long ones. Okay. This is not working. Дай роботу тілу відпочинє голова.
Give work for your body so your head can rest. I think she meant it.
There you go.
Got it?
I'll take it. Sure. We'll go with that. I got two more, but we'll leave them because they're super long.
Good try.
We try.
Nikita, if you were to explain yourself as describe yourself as a hockey player, if somebody hasn't seen you play or something like that, what would you say that Nikita Ivaschenko is like when he gets on the ice?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I think playmaker, goal scorer, and the guy who's fun to watch, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I think we can all agree with that.
You're fun to watch if you're cheering for Battlefords, and you're no fun at all if you're cheering for the other team.
For sure.
Fair enough.
Now, one thing that we've been talking about a lot in the last couple of weeks is the playoff race. It has been very intense. You guys are right in the middle of it. But in the past 10 games, your team record is maybe not exactly where you guys might want it to be. Can you talk about the last 10 games? I know you missed a couple of those. I guess that would have been probably right around the time you were gone. But since you've been back, can you talk about what the last little couple of weeks have been like in terms of how intense the playoff race has been?
Yeah. As you can see on the standings, it's been tough for us, obviously. I don't even know what is going on like in the last games, especially against Yorkton. Boys were really disappointed because I think we played good, especially in the second half, And I think it's always really sad when you're playing good, you're trying your best, and you're losing games like that, and especially important games. There's only 11 games left before the playoffs, so every game is really important right now, and you want to try your best, to win this game. Boys are ready. There's no questions about it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, for now, everyone is really excited and ready to go. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I watched you guys up close, a couple games there recently, and looked pretty good for sure. Definitely in Davidson, guys looked really good. So I'm sure you wanted to build off of that one. I got to ask you too, Nikita. Like, you talk about playoff races, and obviously we care about the SJ, we care about hockey, but obviously there's more to it here. Like, you're a human being, and obviously your country's going through something really tough. I guess just talk about maybe the perspective that you've been able to bring to the North Stars, given kind of the situation of your home country and kind of the experiences that you've had.
What exactly do you want to know? Like, what should I tell you?
Well, I just mean, like, I'm sure you when something tough, or you go away from home, you go to Sweden from Ukraine, you have to grow up kind of fast, and obviously there's the war going on in Ukraine, and how it is that you end up in Battlefords. There's got to be a perspective, maybe some advice that you've been given, to give to your teammates in Battlefords to say, like, this is a manageable situation in our life.
Oh, if you want to hear my advice, then I don't know, I can just say sometimes you have to appreciate chances that you have, because lots of boys, especially in Sweden, they're playing in their home cities, they're living in their houses, and they don't want to go anywhere. Even if it's a really good chance to play in a bigger organization, I mean, in a better team, they prefer to stay at home and eat pancakes. I don't know, just appreciate their home. They don't want to go anywhere. I think it's better to be ready for this chance, and even if it's tough, even if you have to leave your family, even if you have to leave your country, it's better for your future. So I think it's also good for your mentality. You can grow. That's what I would say.
For sure. Nikita, we really appreciate your time. Last one from me. I know we're always talking about, the Flin Flons and the Melforts and the Weyburns and whatnot. And maybe we don't give Battlefords its due, because you guys seem like you've beaten kind of everybody in this league. So I'm wondering, how big is the chip on your team's shoulder, if you understand the expression? How much do you guys feel like you need to prove to all of us that you guys are just as much a threat to go really far in the playoffs as some of those other teams?
Can you say once more, please? I don't understand.
So like, how much do you guys feel like as a team, the North Stars don't get the respect maybe that you guys deserve, given how great of a year that you guys are having?
Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna lie. We're always talking about it. There's like I forgot how you call it actually. There's always on your SJ website power rankings or something. Yeah, and boys, like when we're playing on the weekends, and there's like incoming week, and there's like first practice after weekends. Guys are checking the standings, and the news, and they're always saying like, "Oh, they don't appreciate us like too much. We're underrated, Like,
that's it.
You have to get some more attention, from the league."
Well, we're just trying to help you guys out.
So we're always, trying to prove that we're not just bottom team. We're not like bad team. We're the best team in the league. So we always have to improve, ourselves on the practice, and then we're just trying to play really good on the weekends, so everyone knows who's Battlefords North Stars.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. And finally for me, and then we'll let you go, Nikita, 2 games this weekend against the Humboldt Broncos. You guys are rivals. You've played a lot this year, and these 2 games are very important. What's the message this week from the coach and some of your teammates, just how you guys want to play in these games, and what kind of how hard this is going to be this weekend, because it's 2 very important games?
Yeah, obviously it might be hard, because it's our rivals, I would say. But I think we're prepared. We tried some new things on the practice today on the morning. So I think we will surprise Broncos. We might surprise them because last games, that was tough, obviously. So yeah, I hope these games they'll be better. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
They'll be different. They'll be different.
Love that. Well, Nikita, it was a pleasure talking to you today. We really enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way. We're really excited to see what you guys can do the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, as you know, English is not my first language,
No,
but
you
I
did
promise I tried my best.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
sorry.
did. You did amazing.
You did great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nikita.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice
right.
one.
There
Take
you
care.
go. That was great. That was awesome. Nikita Ivaschenko, great chat there. He's got a bright future ahead of him. He's a hardworking kid, you can tell. Love the confidence.
Yeah.
So good job, Nikita. You did great. There is some really important games coming up this weekend, Nugsy. Pretty much every series, there's a lot of back-to-backs. So why don't we go ahead? Let's just look at the schedule now for Friday. We'll start with Friday's games. Well, today, I guess. I guess there is games today. And it's not just a game. It's a big one.
Yeah.
The Melfort Mustangs do play the Weyburn Red Wings at home. That's a number 1 versus number 3 matchup. Very important game. Big game between two heavyweights. So that's good. And then tomorrow, on Valentine's Day, it's a Viterra Division clash in Estevan as the Estevan Bruins host the Yorkton Terriers. And then down the road in Melville, the Millionaires host the Kindersley Clippers. That's a huge one. They're tied, or no, Kindersley's 2 points back of Melville right now, so that's a big one. Kindersley's in 8th and Melville's tied for 5th. Weyburn and Nipawin. Weyburn continues their little road trip there. Up north a little bit. Humboldt and Battlefords, as we just talked to Nikita, huge game. Those teams are tied right now in the standings, so that could determine 5th place depending on what happens in the Kindersley-Melville game. So the winner of that one, well, they're both going to want to win. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Notre Dame's going to be in Flin Flon. You going to Flin Flon this weekend?
If I was going to Flin Flon, I'd be on the bus right now.
Right, good point. That's a good
So
point.
no.
So no. Then the venue swap. Battlefords is going to be in Humboldt on Saturday. Again, huge game. Could be another determining for 5th place. Kindersley's back in Melville. It's a same venue rematch for Saturday night. Estevan and Yorkton flip venues. They're going to be in Yorkton on Saturday night. Notre Dame remains in Flin Flon. And then Melfort gets into the action on the weekend against the Larange Ice Wolves. And then on Sunday, one more game. Notre Dame's going to come on their way back from Flin Flon. They will be in Nipawin on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We actually have a special feature that I forgot to mention. We have episode 2 of the Rink Burger Challenge. This one's in Estevan now, featuring Jacob Faith and an old familiar face if you're from the Estevan area, and I'll let Jacob introduce him. So here you go. Here's episode 2 of the Rink Burger Challenge for the Saskatchewan Cattlemen's Association.
SJHL fans, Jacob Faith back for another edition of the Sask Cattlemen's Association SJHL Rink Burger Competition. Tonight we're here in Estevan. I'm joined with, what's your title, Adam, with the Estevan Bruins? What's your
I guess
official
I'd just
title?
be the game day host, funny guy, weird jokes, entertainer.
And if you've ever been to a Bruins game, you know Adam's always buzzing around the affinity place. But Adam, we're here for the Sask Cattlemen's Association. Locally sourced Saskatchewan raised beef is the official protein of the SJHL, and it's the official pregame meal of all of our SJHL athletes. Now, Adam, you said you're from a long line of farmers.
Yes.
What's your favorite, I guess, beef meal? What's your favorite meal to have a beef in?
Well, you know what? On my mom's side, we had over 200 heads of cattle.
Oh, yeah.
On my mom's side of the family, just off by coon. You found a cattle, you raised it, and then on your 16th birthday, you ate that stuff.
Oh, yeah?
And I gotta say, that sirloin steak
Oh, yeah.
I had on my 16th birthday
Yeah.
was probably the best chunk of meat I've ever had.
So your 16th birthday, you get that. You
You
get
get
a big steak
16
for dinner.
ounce for your 16th.
Unbelievable.
And you raised it, so it's like, oh, it's just that much sweeter.
That's great. Well, we're eating Rink Burgers from Affinity Place here tonight. What we're going to do, Adam, is we're going to take a look here,
All right.
and we're going to have a couple bites, and we're going to give it a score out of 10.
All right.
Now, this is what a Rink Burger should look like, eh?
Yeah, nice, flattened
beef,
down.
Flattened beef and cheese, a real Rink Burger here, you know? None of that gourmet stuff.
I mean, it's not like you're doing commercials for Rink Burgers. You know, it's not like McDonald's at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Well, this looks fantastic, what a Rink Burger should look like.
It's good.
And it's just simple, right? Tastes like a rink burger.
It's got crispy bacon in it, though.
Yeah, I got the bacon.
It spoils me.
So what do you think out of 10? How do you rate the Estevan Bruins Affinity Place rink burgers?
I mean, it's very filling just after one bite.
One bite,
One
yeah.
bite is nice and, very, very tasty. I'm going to say about 8.5.
8.5?
An 8.5 for me.
Awesome. Well, I was going to go 8.3, so we'll meet in the middle at 8.4.
8.4.
Awesome.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Well, thanks so much, Sask Cattlemen's Association, the official protein of the SJHL and the official pregame meal of all of our SJHL athletes. Cheers.
It's good.
Another episode down, another episode where I didn't get to try it. But I
Well,
have had that rink burger
But
before.
I won't get to try any of them because I am a celiac.
Yeah.
We talked about. Thanks for the music. And you can go and find the first episode, which was on Tuesday, the Humboldt one, which looked ridiculously good.
Yeah,
and we have a
that
bunch of
looked good.
episodes coming out every Tuesday and Thursday across the SJHL social media platforms as well as the website. So a lot of people participated very well, and there's some delicious looking burgers that, as I said, I'll never get to eat. So
Yeah,
there you go.
that was like your Saturday Night Live Debbie Downer sketch right there, because you were like, "I'll never get to have them."
It's a
played the
great
music.
initiative that really hurts my
That's
feelings.
really- yeah, I think I have had that rink burger because
you have
I
many
think
times.
Humboldt made a creation for
Yeah.
this contest. I think that was just Estevan's normal
Yeah.
rink burger, which I have had. So in a way, I have had that one. It's very solid, and I would agree with that score. It's probably right around there for sure. So 11 games this weekend, Nugsy. What are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, so Melville, Kindersley, huge,
Yeah.
because you look at the bottom, quote unquote, the playoff picture could change fast, and then you heard Nikita talking about that Humboldt.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good
Battlefords.
one.
What he didn't say was Battlefords kind of got embarrassed
Yeah.
by Humboldt last time out.
He made a face
Yes.
that would
they
say
lost 10-3. It was not good. Jacob Streets, he tore them apart.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some pride there. Jackson Allen is fully back and fully to his powers for Battlefords. So it's a new Battlefords team. Justin Merrick is back and healthy and has some time off to rest here too.
Yeah.
So I expect it to be a lot tougher.
Yeah, I think Nikita's sigh when
Yeah.
he said, last game, I think that said it all.
Yeah.
He nailed it. So yeah, big weekend coming up. A lot of really important games. I got to agree that Humboldt Battlefords and that Kindersley Melville, those are the two series that I'm going to be really focusing on.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of great games across the province. So make sure you get out to the rinks while you still can. Teams only have 12 or 13 games left, guys. So now's the time. If you haven't used up your season ticket vouchers or anything like that, make sure you get out to the rink. Try those rink burgers while you're out there. And make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels, because if you can't make it, we got you covered. We got your Flow Hockey subscription if you need it. You can head over there. You can catch all the games online. If you miss them, you can catch all the archive games, the recaps, the highlights, whatever. We got your highlights for you specifically on our YouTube channel, sponsored by Chevrolet. So make sure you go check those out. Our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We'll have all your updates and recaps and previews for you. So make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. And thank you to all our sponsors. Of course, Cantera Seeds, Borgo, Capital Auto Mall, Sask Lotteries, Chevrolet, as I just mentioned, Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association, Nutrien, Tourism Saskatchewan, Sask Energy, UPL, sponsor of all of our broadcasts, SGEU, Great Western, SGI, the sponsor of all of our podcasts, and RBC, the Community Ambassador Program sponsor. So shout out to all of them. Keep it locked on SJHL.ca over the weekend. I'm not going to say anything specific, but keep an eye on the website.
Yep.
There might be something coming out that people will be interested in, leaving it there. I've been told not to say anything
Don't
else.
say anything.
Not saying anything.
Yeah.
But keep your eye on SJHL.ca. And then next week, here's what's going on next week, Nugsy. Monday is a stat holiday. Of course, it's family week. Kids are off school, et cetera, et cetera. So we won't have a show for you on Monday. We might do something on Tuesday
Based on the big news.
based
yeah.
on the news. We'll see what happens there. might be like a special episode of this show, SJHL Insider, that we might put out. So just stay tuned. We'll figure it out on the fly. But next week, our SJHL Weekly show that should usually be on Monday will be on Thursday. So we'll have our full broadcast at SJHL Weekly on Thursday next week. So Rory's coming in, everything. You don't have a game on Thursday. You have a game on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
And Rory doesn't have a game on Thursday. So we're going to come in on Thursday, do the show on Thursday for you, get you updated from the week and whatever news comes out, and also preview the weekend with Rory this time. So that'll be fun. So that's the week coming up. But until then, there's 11 games, so get out to the rinks and enjoy that hockey. I'm Clark Munroe, Jamie Neugebauer, as per usual. Thanks for being my Valentine buddy. Also my Valentines in the back, Bryce and Ryan today. Aw, so cute. Steven's not here, but he's usually around, thanks to them. Kelly up in the booth upstairs making our graphics for us. And Nikita Ivaschenko, great chat. He said at the end, he said at the end, you know, I wasn't sure. My English is not my first language, and I was like, dude, you did great. Like, that was awesome. You know, he didn't know a couple of terms or phrases, but that's not his fault.
He was saying to me that like part of the problem is like they're kind of nuanced sayings, like that we would have, like, you know, the early bird gets the worm, or the chip on your shoulder. Like, how do you explain all that perfectly, especially in another language? So maybe, you know, we should have thought of something a little bit simpler.
I think we did good. And you know what? In fairness, he's learning too, so that's great.
He's awesome.
Awesome stuff. Great kid, and like I said, bright future ahead of him. So excited to see where that takes him. But get out to the rinks, enjoy the hockey, everyone. Check it out on Flow Hockey, and we'll see you again next week as we figure out what next week is for sure going to look like. We'll let you know. But see you then.